It is Top 5 Tuesday here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton, along with Wade Neely. More importantly than Top 5 Tuesday, though, it is KAVARES Tears Day, as his hometown, Lewisburg, will be recognizing the University of Tennessee baseball standout for making the SEC Academic Honor Roll.
Hey, that's an achievement worthy of being celebrated, my friend. But somehow I feel like that was a touch disingenuous there because, yeah, you're right. They got bigger fish to fry. They like to celebrate big things here in the city of Lewisburg.
Well, they expect academic excellence here in Lewisburg, but no. It's KAVARES Tears Day as they celebrate the guy who drove in the game-winning run in Tennessee's 6-5 national championship series-winning victory over Texas A&M a couple of Mondays ago. Big doings down here. The county mayor Mike Kinney has pronounced it to KAVARES Tears Day. They will be reading a proclamation over here in front of the courthouse, which is in our vision here from the Marshall County Community Theater. And want to thank Mike Kinney for helping hook us up with this spot, by the way. But they're going to honor him with a proclamation later this afternoon. The city council is going to honor him later on this evening as well. So it's a big day for the Lewisburg native and former Columbia Academy standout, and we're looking forward to getting him on here at some point over the next couple of hours as we discuss sports topics of local, regional, and national importance, including, KAVARES Tears Day.
Yeah, this is going to be fun and exciting, and this is kind of what small town living is all about. When one of your own goes off and does a big thing, has a big achievement, you got to come back and celebrate it. And props to Lewisburg because, wasn't as if this happened 2 or 3 months ago. They're striking while the iron's hot. Time is a-wasting, as they like to say, so they did a good job of cashing in on that and celebrating what was an outstanding achievement.
Absolutely. And he's kind of got a window because he's got some stuff going on this summer that we look forward to talking to him a little bit more about in the next segment. Later in the show, we hope to have Chip Walters, as we typically do on Tuesdays. And I say we hope to have because, as we do things remotely, sometimes we run into challenges, and this would be one of those times. So we are not sure if we're going to have Chip in the second hour or not. Hopefully we will get some things straightened out and be able to bring him on to talk about all things MTSU, because there's some things to talk about.
Yep.
So we'll be efforting at that over the course of the show.
He'll think of some stuff to fill us in on.
Oh, absolutely.
He's good at that.
I tell you, he is one of our favorite guests because he comes with a cheat sheet. So we like that. We'll be talking a little Braves, a little Major League Baseball, and some other things that we'll be getting into. I'm expecting us to probably get ambushed, though, at some point by somebody here in Lewisburg. So looking forward to today's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we're going to have KAVARES Tears in the next segment, and really looking forward to sitting down and talking with him about this last month or so and his entire season. So that's what we got. I guess we should go ahead and get started on the show, Wade, with yesterday's results, such as they were, and today's schedule on the Rundown.
This is the Rundown.
To the Rundown we go, folks, and we told you guys on yesterday's show it wasn't a very lengthy schedule for Monday night. So therefore, Tuesday's results portion of the Rundown will find only one item, but what an item it was. You had to stay up late, but the Braves get a 5-4 11-inning victory over the D-backs. Balls were flying all around the yard. It was a crazy game. More on it throughout the contest, but we like to make them count, right? There was only one game on the schedule.
And it was a big one.
5-4 is your final there, again, in 11 innings.
There we go. Major League Baseball schedule tonight at 7:10. The Houston Astros open a series against the visiting Miami Marlins. Again, that's a 7:10 first pitch out at Minute Maid Park. At 8:40, again, get you a nap if you can, because it'll be the Braves and the D-backs again at 8:40. You can see it on Major League Baseball Network or on Bally Sports South. The latter is my preference. Sounds action. They open a 6-game series at First Horizon Park tonight. 6:35 first pitch against the visiting Iowa Cubs. In the WNBA, the Lynx go to Los Angeles taking on the Sparks. That's a 9 o'clock tip. No TV for that one. That's kind of disappointing. Anyway, that's your rundown. Today's top story brought to you, as always, by Piggly Wiggly over Neely's Mill in Columbia. Be sure and check out their delicious daily deli lunch options that are available until 6 o'clock. Also, their hand-cut meats and everything is cost plus 10% at the cash register. Piggly Wiggly, Neely's Mill, Columbia, bringing you our top story. And Wade, you know, we talked last Monday, July 1st, about conference realignment. We talked about Texas and Oklahoma and their exciting move to the Southeastern Conference. We talked about Kennesaw State coming to Conference USA. Well, with a little less fanfare, Trevecca Nazarene University moved to the Gulf South Conference in NCAA Division II competition. That move also became official last Monday. And to that end, Trevecca has new swag.
I mean, that's the beauty of joining the new league, right? You got to go. I mean, it's a chance to update everything.
They are certainly updating everything. They've got a new logo. They have made some gear available to their fans, and that's, you know, it's all about the gear, right?
I mean, whether you really want to admit it or not, a lot of it comes down to, what kind of swag are we getting? You know, you want to be decked out. And Trevecca, now this is a sweet move for them because the Gulf South is a really competitive conference. You know, Trevecca has had some ups and downs. We've talked a little bit about their baseball and softball programs more recently than others, but at the Division II level, they've enjoyed a modicum of success. So coming into a really competitive league now, this will be fun and a chance for Trevecca now to hopefully try and elevate their game a little bit.
Absolutely. We had Mark Elliott on not long after they announced the move, and I think it's going to be exciting for a number of reasons. I think it's going to really help them from a travel standpoint because they're not going so far and they're not going north. There are some natural rivalries, maybe one right down 65 a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. The Trevecca's that, and going back to kind of where you're going with conference realignment, same deal with Martin Methodist when they went up to the Mid-South Conference. You don't really want to, it doesn't really get you too excited to think about having to drive to the middle of Ohio for a baseball series in February.
Right.
I mean, and it just, maybe I'm wrong, but it just don't really get me that fired up. But if from a travel standpoint, from kind of a natural rivalry standpoint, you're right. This could be a good move for Trevecca.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking forward to that. And again, got some great swag coming for you if you are a Trevecca follower, or if you like purple, or if you like the local teams and you just want to represent. So be sure and check that out. That kind of does it for our top story here. With
all due respect to Trevecca, that's technically the top story. But we know what the real top story is today, right?
That was kind of the top story in name.
Yeah.
Again, we are coming to you from the Lee Company Studios here at the Marshall County Community Theater here in Lewisburg as they are observing KAVARES Tears Day, celebrating their NCAA Division I baseball national champion. And so we're going to go ahead and take a break because waiting in the wings is the man of the hour. So I don't want any more time, and I'm just talking. So go ahead, take a break, come back. We'll be joined by Columbia and change to the over.
Bluegrass Auction Associates is hosting another estate auction in White House, Tennessee on Saturday, July 20th at 10 a.m. Join Bluegrass as they sell the Judy Matthews Honeycutt Estate, conveniently located in the scenic Orchard Park subdivision. This beautiful estate includes both real estate and personal property, so everything must go. Everything will be sold on-site and in person, and a 10% buyer's premium is added to the final bid. So bid with confidence with Bluegrass Auction Associates, committed to excellence.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Welcome to Protein Snack Shop, your destination for healthy and delicious low-carb snacks. Our specialty lies in providing protein-packed desserts that are perfect for those following a keto diet. Our products are made with high-quality ingredients, ensuring that you can satisfy your cravings without compromising your health goals. From a variety of flavors and options to choose from, you can enjoy guilt-free snacking while staying on track with your fitness journey. Don't miss out on our limited-time offer. Discover Protein Snack Shop today.
Welcome back to Top 5 Tuesday here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm the faceless Maurice Patton. There we go. There we go. You recognize that guy. That's KAVARES Tears, former Columbia Academy standout, Lewisburg native, and as of a couple Monday nights ago, national champion. Right fielder for the University of Tennessee Volunteers. KAVARES, congratulations on so much. And when we opened the show, I said that they were observing KAVARES Tears Day for you being named to the Southeastern Conference Academic Honor.
I don't know where to go.
Apparently, no, seriously.
That's real?
No, that's real. No, I wouldn't joke about anything like that. No, Wes Rucker tweeted that out earlier. Yeah, 20 of you guys. 20 guys off the UT baseball team were named to the SEC Academic Honor Roll this month.
We get it done on and off.
That's what I'm talking about. There you go. Congratulations. How big is that?
It's pretty cool. I don't know, is that my first time?
No, you made it last time.
Oh, okay.
multi-time. Too many to remember, right?
He's such a great student that it doesn't even register with him. But no, that's fantastic, man. So like you, I mean, that's great. Again, getting it done on and off the field. There's something to be said for that.
Sure.
You guys certainly got it done on the field.
Absolutely.
I saw the pictures of you carrying the trophy around on the field at Charles Schwab and Omaha and that kind of thing. It's just really, it's got to be a cool moment.
Yeah, it was definitely there was a lot of different emotions going on throughout that whole 24 hours. Honestly, I don't remember some of it. Some spots I don't remember. Kind of black out a little bit, and I'll come to, and I'm like, I'll be here. Next thing I'm like, some of those. So he has a lot of different emotions.
You know, that was a wild 10-day ride from the comeback in the opener against Florida State to game 2 against Texas A&M, where you guys had to get off the mat with a couple of 2-run homers late to that final game. And I am still trying to figure out how your ball did not get out.
You know, I've been seeing stuff saying that it might have been a home run, but
Somebody told me that it hit a fence behind, like a railing right behind
like
it,
a great
and
fence.
kicked back.
Keep the fans in it. They said it hit that. Jace played it as if it hit the wall. So
Right.
I don't know. He sold it pretty well. I had no clue.
Yeah, I've not gone back and looked at it. I mean, it doesn't matter now, but I mean, you hit it a ton. I mean, it was as hard a hit ball as I saw in Omaha throughout the series, and the fact that it did not leave the park, and so maybe it did leave the park.
I mean, the wind was blowing in like 30 miles an hour, so I didn't really expect it to, honestly.
Obviously, you guys made an insane run, win the national championship, but just being out in Omaha, we've talked a lot about it. Mo's talked about how he's been. We've had a couple guests that have been. Can you put into words kind of what it's like to kind of be in almost a mecca of baseball when you're right there? Do you even realize kind of where you're at that point?
Yeah, I think if you're definitely a college baseball fan, you know Omaha. You know what everything you need to know about Omaha. And then once you get there, it's kind of just like a surreal moment. Just getting there and taking in the environment, how they have everything set up outside the stadium. And once you get inside, especially when it's filled up and sold out, it is like one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
What was it like knowing, some teams were going out there for you the first time, some teams, maybe don't have as diehard of a fan base. What was it like going out there knowing, hey, there's no doubt, we know Vol Nation is going to show up, and if you've been to any other sporting event in Tennessee, they eat, sleep, and breathe balls, baseball, basketball, softball, whatever it is, and so you guys had fan support from the jump.
Yeah, we knew once we were going to Omaha, we the fan support was never a question. We knew that the fans were going to show up and they were going to be loud, and they were definitely going to get into it. They definitely did what they needed to do.
They feed off y'all. Y'all feed off them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you guys a couple of years ago kind of put on the black hat contest in terms of college baseball. I think maybe that's kind of chilled out a little bit, but at the same
Maybe not.
maybe not. You kind of like that though. There you go.
It's just a different type of, it gives you a different type of
Yeah. When you signed with Tennessee, was this what you envisioned?
Yeah. I came to Tennessee. I didn't go to Tennessee. I saw these vision from a while ago. When I was young. I saw the vision he had. I saw how he coached. I was able to be there a couple of the practices. I saw how competitive he was, and I saw that what he was teaching the players at the time. It was definitely changing the course for him. So I couldn't wait to be a part of that.
I was able to get with your high school coach, Richie Easton, not long after the championship, and we talked about your transition. I mean, I don't know that you ever sat at Columbia Academy. You were redshirted your freshman year at the University of Tennessee. And in this age of transfer portal and everything else, it would have been real easy for you to bounce.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that ever in your thought process? And if it was, what made you not?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said that, I didn't think about transferring multiple times. As much as I love that campus and I love, everything that's up there in Knoxville, there were some times where I thought maybe, this isn't for me if I want to, continue my career. But I had a conversation with Evan Russell, and he sat me down, and I won't give the whole conversation, but he basically was telling me that, it's not smart to leave. If you leave here, you will regret that decision. And not just because everything statistically, but the bonds I had made with the coaches, the players, people in the community, stuff like that. I would be missing out on that, and I had gotten really close to a lot of the players, a lot of the people at that campus my freshman year. And, I didn't know if I was going to be all right leaving it. And, I also was able to change my mindset to, instead of thinking that I'm not good enough, and I was started thinking, what can I do to get better? And so that's, how I spent my redshirt year.
I will tell you that I was checking with some folks that would know throughout that, and everybody was giving me the feedback that they love KT. That was constant. They love KT, and his time's going to come. So I guess you were hearing that too, but I would imagine at the same time that in the middle of it, when you're hearing that, then there's a question: is that for real, or are they just telling me that to keep me?
Yeah, that was, honestly, that was definitely, whenever I would have, a negative thought process, that was definitely something that, had run through my mind. But, when it came down to it, and, I was looking at basically the facts, what's laid out in front of me, the team that we had, the position I was in, and where I was at with, my maturity. I realized that, Coach V, Coach Elander, they all had their best, my best interests at heart. So
tough to push Jordan Beck out the lineup, right?
Exactly.
KT, I want to ask you, so many games obviously get played, and you guys, you're constantly working on your game 24/7, but every championship team, no matter what the sport, seems like they have that one moment that you point back to later and say, that's what changed us, or that's what got us over the hump in some way. Was there one of those moments for you? And if so, what was it?
Yeah, I think that moment, might be the same for, us as a team. And that was that first Alabama weekend. We went down to Tuscaloosa and we lost that series. That right there. We found our identity. After that, we found out who we were, and we knew that we never wanted to be in that position again. Even though that was the first weekend, we had plenty of more games to be played. We knew that that position we did not want to be in it again, and that was just something that was on our minds. Even though we would go to 1-1 series, I think just about most of our series, we always knew on Sunday we showed up to the field, we were winning that game.
That's kind of a scary thought, Mo, because that's already a good team. Now they're a ticked off team. Right. Is the way I'm interpreting that. Is that kind of how it went down, KT?
Yeah, a little bit. I think we got comfortable losing the first one, and then just getting ticked off, and then deciding we're not losing these next few games.
KAVARES Tears, Lewisburg native, Tennessee outfielder, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. They did a little work on you, didn't they? Was that your shoulder? Is that
no, that wasn't.
Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. My bad. I was trying to get you a little more NIL there. Sorry. Again, you battled your way onto the field. You showed some versatility again. You played in center for a couple of games while you were in Omaha when Hunter was kind of banged up after you. You guys in walls. Is there a magnet or something or what?
We kind of have this motto where, if the ball's not going over the fence and it's in the outfield, it's got to be caught. So
Every ball is a catchable ball, right?
Every single ball.
Yeah.
Is that was that your football background right there?
Absolutely. You know, all three of our the outfielders this year, we were all like real big, like into football, and I think we all played pretty similar. Even Dylan, he's in Kansas, but you know, me and Hunter played similar football. So you know, running the walls, it kind of just brought back, you know, some old memories that we've been missing.
KT, you mentioned football, and I got to ask. They kept showing Peyton Manning, obviously in the stands. Was it if it wasn't him? Who's been the coolest or person maybe you least expected to get a text or a call or a shout out from since winning it all?
The coolest person. I got an MMA fighter texting me.
Okay.
And said,
is he? Yeah, is he blowing you up?
Nah.
Okay.
It was Hot Sauce.
Okay, yeah. He's from Knoxville, right?
Yeah, he is.
Scott Holtzman? Yeah.
Absolutely. That's my dude. Yeah, he texted me, and that was pretty special because, you know, he's an MMA fighter.
Fought in the UFC a couple times.
Absolutely.
Now, as we'll get into this a little more here, but you kind of come back, and we were chatting with you before we went on air. What was it like kind of now coming back and kind of just really trying to catch your breath because the way the calendar falls as soon as the season's over, it's kind of a whirlwind and you got a lot of things to think about. What's it like? What's it been like for you these last 2 weeks, maybe just trying to kind of get back on your feet a little bit?
You know, it's been a little hectic, gotta be honest. After our parade, you know, we had to fly to New York for a few days and then came back home, had a few meetings and conversations before I was able to come back home. But things have kind of slowed down since I've been home for a little bit. But actually tonight I gotta, you know, kind of get back into the swing of things. So,
what is it like when you drive past the courthouse right over here and you see the signs KAVARES Tears Day? You walk into the theater here and it's up here on the marquee, KAVARES Tears Day. I mean, you ever think anything like this was possible for you?
I'm gonna be honest. No, I never would have thought there would, you know, ever be a day named after me, especially in my hometown. You know, that where I grew up, and you know, there's so many people here that mean so much to me, and you know, have helped me get to where I am now. It's special to be able to come home and be able to celebrate. You know, something that my team in Knoxville was able to do, and being able to celebrate it here. You know, where I was born and raised.
Lewisburg native, Columbia Academy graduate. Is there any kind of way awkward?
Because
bit. I see Kendrick with his Lewisburg cap on over there.
I mean, it's different, but I mean, I guess luckily I was, you know, blessed enough to have a, you know, pretty good sized family here in Lewisburg, and then outside of them, definitely made some friends growing up, and then even just family friends that you know, we're still close with to this day.
I know Dante Hightower's from here. They probably had a day for him at some point, either for one of his many Super Bowls or something like that. You probably came to some of those. I kind of thought this was an Alabama town. I guess clearly that's not the case.
Nah, it's just Tennessee.
Vols country, for sure. I'm like Mo. I thought I'd see a little more crimson, but I guess not. Hey, KT, I do want to ask, since we are in this small town and we're talking about your day, have you been texting your teammates saying who else on the team? Anybody else got a day yet? I'm the only one so far that's got one.
No, hang on.
Hunter Isley had his yesterday.
Okay, you celebrate. So you're not the first, I guess, but you're probably one of the few, I suppose.
And then Dylan, I think he has his next week or sometime this week. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, he had his. Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a little different in Kansas, though. I would think.
They're no offense to anybody.
No offense to anybody from Kansas, but I mean, it's the in-state school, and you know, Hunter stayed home, you stayed home. As you look up and down that roster, I mean, you played with a lot of guys that you were particularly familiar with, I would imagine, from high school. I mean, A.J. Russell is from Franklin. There's some other guys. There's a lot of in-state flavor on this team. How special does that make this for y'all?
I mean, I think it definitely means a lot to, especially, you know, us guys that are from Tennessee. But yeah, I played with I played against Drew Beam, played against Andrew Binky in high school, which I have a funny story about him that frustrates me to this day. But
Well, we got time.
All right, so Andrew Binky, he's one of our pitchers. He went to DCA, and we played him one day up at their field, and he had a broken wrist, and he went 4 for 4 bunts against us. And I'm telling you, he's one of my best friends, so I'll say this. I wanted to beat him up so bad during that game. I was so mad at him.
He wasn't bunting off of you, was he?
No, I was at first.
Oh,
he was
okay.
just like he's just like really, really fast. And I kept telling him, I was like, dude, swing the bat.
Did y'all know his wrist was broken?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I had no clue. Like, I was like chirping him. Like, come on, dude. What are you doing?
Oh, that's awesome. KAVARES Tears joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. So what is what's the itinerary for this afternoon? I know at 4:30 you are being recognized over here on the courthouse steps, and County Mayor Mike Kinney is going to be reading the proclamation, and then at 6 you're going in front of the city council. Are you going to be speaking at any point?
Yeah, I think I will be sharing a few words towards the end.
You looking forward to that?
I'm trying not to get butterflies right now, so I try not to think about it as much as possible at the moment. But
bigger butterflies this afternoon, this evening, or that Monday night in Omaha?
Definitely this. speaking in front of a lot of people is not my forte. 20
home runs. One of 5 UT players to hit 20 home runs, which set a Division I record. 73 runs scored, 62 RBIs, 16 doubles, and 324 batting average. Each of those were among the top 4 totals for the National Championship Volunteers. Not that you weren't capable, but I mean, when you hear those numbers, when you look at those numbers, what do you think about the season you had individually?
If I'm gonna be honest, I think I kind of undershot myself going into the season. Some of the goals I had kind of set, aside for myself, like personally. But at the same time, before this, I had never really, played too much, so I didn't, I knew I was. I knew I was okay, but like I didn't know like what I was fully capable of doing, like in a year's worth of at bats and playing time. So, I kind of didn't really. I don't know. I didn't really.
You didn't have a feel.
Yeah, I didn't have a good feel. Of some of the goals I want to do. So I kind of just put all that to the side and was just play hard.
As you look back at this season for yourself individually, what are you most impressed with?
Definitely defense. Our pitchers are up there, especially in the hot sun, throwing pitches, and I think it feels good to be able to kind of save them some pitches or get them out of a jam.
This was such a fun team and such a special team. For folks that tuned in late, whether it was just in Omaha or, in the regionals or super regionals, what would you like for people that tuned in late to remember about this team throughout the whole season? Because it's, to me at least, without watching a ton of those games until Omaha, it seemed like everybody was just had each other's backs, if nothing else. And I feel like that goes so far in college baseball.
No, yeah, I think that is literally that can sum up our whole season. I think from top to bottom, the lineup, our bullpen, our starters, guys on the bench, our coaches, everybody, I think we all had each other's backs, regardless of the situation. So I think that played, a huge role in, allowing us to be able to, hoist the trophy at the end of that last game.
Have they already said anything about bringing you guys back to Knoxville for, everybody on the internet immediately was like, man, it'd be cool if they came back for that Alabama game and brought them out, on the 50 at Neyland. Has that already been discussed that you know of? Or
I know there's something been discussed. I think it's still kind of, staying, kind of low key right now, but I think there'll be something out about it soon.
Stay tuned, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, it sounds like stay tuned. Absolutely. So you flew up to New York right after the World Series, did some stuff at MLB Network, that kind of thing. There's a little deal coming up this weekend, the Major League Baseball draft. Excited?
Yeah, I'm excited, curious. Again, it's kind of a wide range of different emotions going on around here.
You know, I talked to Tony V in January. He was up at Cool Springs for a coach's clinic, and you were a redshirt sophomore this year, and he said, you know, if people want to see KAVARES tears, they better get a good look at him this year, because there's a very good chance he's not going to be back. Now, even though you're a redshirt sophomore and the draft is juniors eligible, because you are a redshirt sophomore, you are eligible for the draft.
Yes, sir. Yes,
They have seen the last of KAVARES tears at Knoxville, haven't they?
Yes, sir. I will be trying to forego my next few years of eligibility and take whatever I can get in the draft.
Well, I think that's a smart decision. Not that it matters whether I do or not, but what is it about pursuing your professional career at this point that excites you?
I mean, I guess it's just one step closer to getting to a dream I've had since I was 8 years old, and with every step, God has blessed me to get closer. There's the percentage of that gets smaller and smaller with every step. So I'm just blessed to be able to still be a part of that percent, still playing. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
KAVARES, we appreciate it. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to hearing your few words over here in a bit. It's going to be fun, and you deserve it. So again, congrats, and thank you for taking some time with us this afternoon.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.
All right. Hey, when we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, told y'all we might have some surprise guests. We got one. So stay tuned when we return to the Lee Company studios here at the Marshall County Community Theater after this break.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Top 5 Tuesday continues here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Wade Neely. And sitting to our far left, Marshall County Mayor Mike Kenny joining us here on the show. Joining us in the Lee Company studios of the Marshall County Community Theater. And I reached out to Mike. Mike, good Lord, how far back do we go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how long it's been.
Exactly. But whenever I've ever needed something in Lewisburg, I knew who to call. And so when I heard that you all were honoring KAVARES, I'm like, 1, we got to be there. 2, how can we be there? 3, let me call Mike. And so Mike and Bob Phillips, who you've seen once or twice on the screen, got us hooked up here in the lobby of formerly the Dixie Theater here in Lewisburg, and it's a lot better in here than out there.
I figured you'd like it better inside than outside for 2 hours.
We are very appreciative of that.
I'm a little bit of a diva as far as that goes.
You know, yeah. When you ask where can I go around the square, I start thinking of all the different places, but then I always I come back to here because this is kind of a staple of our square, of our community. Got a lot of tradition here. Been a lot of it's a different avenue. It's it's theater, not sports, but at the same time, I found out the two can coexist and mix really well. And a lot of history, a lot of tradition here. And Bob Phillips can't ask for a better person and what he's meant to our community through the years. That's when the day he departs this world, I promise you, nobody will have to say who was Bob Phillips and what did he do, because he has done so much for Lewisburg and Marshall County. But we're glad to have you. We're glad it's a great day for us. Wade, I think it's the first time you and I have ever met. And let me just say, I feel like I'm in royalty now to hear Wade Neely's with us, because Thomas Osteen, I think he's your biggest fan.
Well, I paid him to say that first and foremost, but thank you. But you and I have never maybe officially met because, we had dueling headsets going on. You as the voice of Marshall County, me as the voice of Giles County for so many years. And I told Mo when we were bringing our equipment in, I said, man, my skin's getting a little weird. I said, I don't spend a ton of time in Lewisburg outside of Giles County and Marshall County matchups. So, but I do appreciate the hospitality, and I know you have done a fantastic job. And it's going to be such a great day. My question, first and foremost, was how quickly did you think about putting this thing together? Because this seems like a simple concept, but there's a lot, obviously, that has to go into it as well.
And there's still a lot we've got to do before 4:30. We kind of been watching the storm clouds and trying to dodge them.
They said we're not there yet.
Huffing and puffing and making sure they stay away. If you'll sit here and keep watching over the next hour, our courthouse lawn is going to metamorphose into a lot of orange. And so we kind of put the call out for folks to help bring stuff. And Ken Lilly and a lot of other Tennessee fans answered that call, and we're going to be excited. And we just need Mother Nature to cooperate with us. Back to your question. We started talking about this when Tennessee was still playing. I don't even think they'd made it to the finals, and we just said we need to do something for KAVARES Tears. I don't know about you, but anytime you see them come up on the screen on TV and it says a player's name and it says their hometown, you see Lewisburg, Tennessee, you can't pay for that kind of publicity. Yep. You just cannot pay for that kind of publicity. We got Laura Mueller playing softball at UT as well. Can't say enough about that as well. But so we started talking then, but we really didn't hone in on it because we weren't sure when KAVARES was going to be here. We kept hearing he would be here sometime this week. We weren't exactly sure. Finally, about Friday, the city finally had it finalized. We were going to try to do something jointly together, but then they decided their easiest path was probably do the city council meeting, which is fine. They're going to honor him tonight. That'll be a great ceremony as well. I wanted more of a pep rally, though. I wanted more of a community celebration, a chance for people to reach out and touch him and just kind of cheer and shout and touch him and take pictures with him and whatever he's willing to do. But I wanted more of that for us. So that's why we decided we'd do this at 4:30 this afternoon. Actually started at noon Saturday. And so since noon Saturday, it's been pedal to the metal and trying to pull everything together. And Emily Darnell in my office, she's our joint economic community development person. She's done a great job. Our maintenance crew headed up by Neil Davis, they have been phenomenal in trying to get everything set up. And like I said, we've made some calls to others to help us. Anybody says they can do something by themselves, they're not telling you the truth. It's no way possible. It takes a community to do things. And hopefully at 4:30, we'll be able to pull off an event we can be very proud of, and we'll do KAVARES justice.
And Wade has mentioned this, and him being from Pulaski, this type thing particularly resonates with him. Me being from Franklin, it resonates with the Franklin I grew up in, which is not the same as the Franklin that now exists. But, small town USA is where this really shows up and shines, you know.
It's a Lewisburg, it's a Pulaski, it's the old Columbia, the old Franklin. I don't know if you saw the pictures from Huntington. Saturday they had a parade for Hunter Inslee and had a celebration on their square, and people turned out. I mean, people do, and that's what you still love about small communities. There's a plus for the big cities. I won't take anything away from them, but still, this is what it's all about.
And Alicia Tears, KAVARES' mom, she had on her Facebook memories earlier today, she had a picture of a little league KAVARES going like 4 for 4 in a ball game. And, that's what these people remember. They saw him out there at the Lewisburg Babe Ruth Fields and that kind of thing. And when you get the chance to see a guy or a young lady, you mentioned Laura Mueller, go from that to this, and to know, I played against that guy. I played with that guy, I had classes with that guy, that kind of thing. It's really kind of cool.
You're really cool. And those things aren't forgotten. And, people here still remember Jason Maxwell. Dante Hightower will always be remembered here. Chapel Hill, Mikey Miner. I mean, and the list goes on with Marcus Hazlip. And, there's so many, and I always hate starting to name names.
He's getting into our top 5.
Oh, but when you start naming names,
careful with those.
I'll leave somebody out.
Yeah.
But this is just another milestone here for KAVARES. Today's a great celebration for the accomplishment at UT, but who knows what's ahead for him in his future. And we may be back here one day like we were with Dante celebrating a Super Bowl. Who knows what the future holds for KAVARES.
Well, that's the fascinating thing is we're celebrating, the success he's had to date. Even just here in a couple of days, there's probably a pretty good likelihood of future success on the horizon. So that's kind of neat that this was kind of perfectly sandwiched right here, because potentially, I'm not going to say the best, but certainly bigger and brighter things are still to even come for this young man.
Oh, no doubt. And I heard you ask him the question that everybody wants to know.
I had to.
I know, and I heard the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's not
Flip that one.
That's that wasn't unexpected. I think if you're a Tennessee fan, you're hopeful till they say something. But I don't think anybody's surprised by that. And then for KAVARES, that's a life-changing moment for sure. And we'll be excited about that and wish him well there. And proud for him. Proud for him.
I was asking him, you mentioned Dante Hightower, former great linebacker at Alabama, and I didn't know. I figured this was an Alabama town, thanks to Dante.
No. No. I tell people, this is not Lewisburg, Alabama. This is Lewisburg, Tennessee.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
There are some fans, surely, though, and they're probably hiding in pockets.
My maintenance guy mentioned he's an Alabama fan. You just don't know how much he's kind of holding his nose while he took all this Tennessee stuff we're asking him to do. But no, we've got our share of Alabama fans. I will not begin to pretend that we don't. And we seem to gain them a whole lot more in the last 15 years than I thought we had. But
funny how that works, too, right?
Funny how that works. But
should be interesting to see.
But we're rebounded. We're rebounding. If you wear orange and white, this has been a good as run in the last 4 to 5 years that we could hope for.
We have a guy that comes on the show with us from time to time, and I'll ask you what I asked him. This was a national championship for baseball, but it kind of felt like this is kind of the tipping point for University of Tennessee athletics.
Well, I think that's what Peyton said. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of a lot of good things to come. And, I do think, give Danny White a lot of credit. He has assembled a great coaching staff. I mean, I think everybody, you have to feel good where the programs are. And I know that, Tony Vitello was already there before Danny White got there. I know Rick Barnes was there before Danny White got there. But I still think his leadership has brought a different level of energy to the program and everything. And, this year is just the culmination of 7 good years of Tennessee baseball that Vitello's turned around. But the last 3 years, just wow. Yeah. Just think about the team from 2 years ago that should have perhaps won it all. Mm-hmm. The team last year who made it there. And then, the best team doesn't always win. But then this year's team they just kept. And he kept saying, well, they don't have enough pitching, or they don't have this, or they're streaky. By golly, they just gritted and grinded and put it all together. And, what a magical, magical moment it was. And I think, gosh, you look at the celebration parade, we won't have 50,000 people here today, but the 50,000 people that turn out in Knoxville parade just shows you how hungry people were for success and how much they loved the University of Tennessee.
50,000 people that turned out less than 24 hours after the ball game.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Imagine if some of those folks could have gotten back from Omaha.
Well, the tears were stuck in Omaha and had to watch it on TV, they told me. So, yes, just think about that.
Yeah, and I was curious about that, too. Outside of, KAVARES and his family, this is such a small community. Surely, were there folks from Lewisburg that kind of made the trip out? Yeah, there may be Tennessee fans, but having a local guy and a local connection certainly gives you a little extra incentive to go, I would imagine.
I don't know exactly how many. I know of one local person that was there. We might have had more, but I know of one person who made the trip. I know a young man who used to live here, who used to live at my house. He made the trip. Okay. And he was excited. he made the trip, and it was a great memory for him as well. And I've heard so many people. And I don't know if y'all have heard this or not, but I've had so many people in our community come up and say, as you talk about this, I don't like baseball. I really never watch baseball. I've watched every game Tennessee played, and I sat there, spellbound and glued to the TV watching everything that went on and didn't miss a moment. And KAVARES played a big role in that for sure from being here. They had that connection as well. But I think people still that love the University of Tennessee, kind of the same philosophy there as well.
So you said your son went. Have you been to Omaha?
Never been.
You got to go.
Never been. I want to. Had my wife not been on another trip, I would have probably maybe taken off for Omaha. But she was going to be gone, and somebody had to stay home and babysit the cats. So. It's
always a cats.
I let the cats get in the way of, and my son was really not happy when I said I just can't go. But he went with a buddy. They had a big time, and trust me, I felt like I was there for sure, living it through his phone calls and conversations.
I got out there in '95 when Hilton and Dickey went, and I've been trying to get back ever since. It's a bucket list.
Well, it's a different place.
Literally. Yeah. I mean, it's a different facility in the whole 9 yards.
But boy, did that community take to that event. Can you? I mean, they really just swallow that whole.
And it's like the identity of the city in some regards, is it not?
Yes, it was amazing, and just they put on a good show, and they had a lot of great games, and I really think the game college baseball has really come a long way. It's just like in every sport, it seems like at every college. There's always good teams in college baseball. I think now we got a whole lot more good teams that are out there.
What's the biggest event in Marshall County, County Mayor Mike Kenny?
What's the biggest event? Well, I hope it's going to be in about an hour and a half. at least so far this month. We got there's a lot of activities going on for sure. I mean, this is summertime. This is horse show season. We've already had Belfast. We've Cornersville's coming up. Tractor Pull in Chapel Hill in 3 weeks will be, that just is a different event of its own. If you've never been there, you need to check. That needs to be on your bucket list as well. I don't know if you'll see a tractor, but you will see an event for sure. And you talk about community coming together. it is amazing how every facet of that community comes together from all the ball teams up there. They work the events. The Lions Club couldn't do it by themselves, but it is so well organized. It's a well-oiled machine, and they bring in a lot of dollars for the good of that community. So that'll be big. Lewisburg has their horse show end of the month, and then guess what? We're going back to school and starting football season. So and everything else that goes with that.
Yeah, we got to slip in at least a little football chatter. What's it like being in a community? We've seen success from all of your area schools, but especially obviously Cornersville and Marshall County have had really prolonged stretches of success in the last decade or so.
You know, they have. I mean, they have. And again, we talk about energy, that a lot of new energy brought in. Thomas Osteen, gosh, it's hard for me to believe. I believe this begins, is this year 10? I believe we're starting.
Kind of crazy to think about.
You know, and just see him. And I just think back to him when he first came. And now I saw him the other day, and he's got his 3 daughters with him. And they are just absolutely precious. He's got a son due in September. I'm asking if I can call the plays that night in case he has to be away. He refuses to let me do that. I'll just ask for 1 play a year, and I hadn't gotten that yet. But you know, but he's really, you know, it's a breath. He brought a breath of fresh air to the program. You know, we had the 3-year run where we went to the semifinals, and then you get kind of stuck in a region where you can have a really good team. You know, we've been in the days where we had Brentwood Academy in their glory days, and then we got caught when Lipscomb was having all their great runs, and you know, now Pearl Cone has been the nemesis there. So, you know, you can be really good and never scratch. You know, and then the runs we made to the semifinals, we had one of the best Knoxville Catholic teams you could ever see. Central comes back and beats us here. That's one that probably hurts forever. And then the following year, Greenville, and boy, they were a loaded team as well. So maybe one year the cards are going to stack up our way. I know Thomas is excited. He lost a lot from last year, but he's got a lot back, and they work extremely hard. They've already won a 7-on-7 tournament this summer, so he's going to have skilled athletes. He always will. So that'll be fun to watch. Cornersville, you know, Ben Franklin graduating, going to the Naval Academy. Boy, that's as big a deal as you could ever really ask for from a school. But you know, Gerard Randolph had his run down there. They had a lot of great talent. Back-to-back trips to the Blue Cross Bowl. Forest, you know, had a tough year last year, but they've been there year in and year out. You don't need to think they haven't had success. Got a new coach this year. I'm anxious to see what he'll do with them. So we play ball in Marshall County like we do in Giles County. I mean, everybody says, we play ball. I mean, that is what
and it doesn't matter what ball.
It doesn't matter. I don't know if you've talked to Bob. Bob was part of the tennis program. His son was the head tennis coach. They had a young man go to the state tournament this year.
Shot some photos for him.
May never happen again in the history. Who knows? But that's a big step. You know, you got to get the first one there before you can get the second one.
There you go. There you go.
So the first one's there, but you know, it's just kind of the makeup and the DNA of our community, just like it is all small communities. People stepping up, doing things. I don't think anybody, Bob asked at his age to say, "Hey, I want to be the assistant tennis coach," but there was opportunity was there. He took it. That's just kind of what you do, and that's what you got to have. You got to have people who are involved, who are interested and committed to your community.
And that's what leads to events like we're here today.
Leads to events like here today. Hey, and I got to say one word before I get off here. Got to give kudos to my wife. She's over there right now setting stuff up. She wasn't a baseball fan either. Trust me. John Kenny and I would watch baseball religiously. She watched more baseball games this year. And by the end of the year, she knew the batting order better than I did. And she could, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. And again, I just think that's how contagious Tennessee baseball was. And I think KAVARES Tears brought a big part of that to this county and this community.
Well, we're going to let you go help her, but Mike Kenny, Marshall County Mayor, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Mike has worn a lot of hats in this town. Again, we go back longer than either of us cares to remember, but at one point he was like a correspondent for local athletics.
15-year-old sports writer for the Tribune, which was still a thrill. Got into radio after my kids were born, and they said, "Hey, we need somebody." And I said, "No way." I had an eraser when I wrote my articles, and I could scratch it back if I said didn't like what I said. Get on the radio and say it wrong. Guess what? It's gone. It's gone.
It's gone.
I was scared to death of doing that first few games, and then but then it was one of the best experiences. And we had a great run in those days too. So it's just fun to do that, Maurice. And just continue. I've been very blessed, very fortunate to be here and be part of our community, and just very excited. Hey, you talk about the Dixie. I'm going to go off topic. They got a play coming up here. And if you've never been to a play at the community theater,
right there.
Listen, Nonsense is coming up at end of this month, and you need to make your way over here. You will not be disappointed in community theater. I promise you. I've never seen a bad show here yet, and the folks here do a wonderful job. So not only sports, everything else that goes with the community.
There we go.
Thanks
Marshall
for being
County Mayor Mike Kenny joining us. When we come back here on Main Street Sports today, as we return to the Lee Company studios of the Marshall County Community Theater, we will be joined by the Blue Raider voice, Chip Walters. Stay tuned after this.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
Top 5 Tuesday continues here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton along with Wade Neely. We're coming to you from the Lee Company studios here at the Marshall County Community Theater, hour number 2 of Top 5 Tuesday, as we help observe KAVARES Cheers Day here in Lewisburg. And so we're going to try something. Remember we told y'all at the start of the show that we were kind of having some audio difficulties? Those audio difficulties may or may not show up right here as we kick it to the Blue Raider voice, Chip Walters. We can see him. We cannot hear him.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me at all?
Can't. We got nothing. I see your mouth moving, so I know you're saying something. But,
Well, I'm here. I am here in Murfreesboro. So you're
just
not able to hear
talking
anything.
into dead. Mark can hear him. Mark, can you translate? No, we can't hear you either, though. So, so with that said, Chip, we're going to bid you a fond adieu.
The shortest segment in
Yeah.
Chip Walters' history.
Would you like? Well, would you like? Yeah. If you want to do a quick monologue, go ahead. Just do that, because I know that there are some things that need to be said. Mark, can everybody else hear him except us?
Yes. Okay, Mark said yes. I could hear Mark. And
Yeah, okay. So, all right. So yeah, Chip, the floor is yours. If you want to just take us off screen, even Mark, go right ahead. But Chip, obviously, before you go, we wanted to mention, obviously, the two Conference USA Hall of Famers that were announced yesterday, and we wanted to mention the Lady Raider coaching staff edition that was mentioned, that developed earlier today. So again, the floor is yours.
all right, and I guess this is probably my audition to fill in for Mo or Wade when that comes up. But as they mentioned, Middle Tennessee was fortunate to have a couple of Blue Raiders, former Blue Raiders, named to the Hall of Fame class for Conference USA for 2024. And you'll be familiar with both names. Longtime track and field coach, the late Dean Hayes, who was a track coach at Middle for over 50 years, named to the Conference USA Hall of Fame, as well as NFL All-Pro safety Kevin Byard. Byard leaves Middle as the all-time interception leader. Dean Hayes, just during the time in Conference USA, won 11 different conference titles. His individual athletes won 87 individual Conference USA titles, and he had 13 Athlete of the Year awards going to his players. And you know that the Ohio Valley Conference finally got around to putting Dean Hayes in their Hall of Fame last year. Conference USA expedited that a little bit, and since his death 3 years ago, has now put Dean Hayes into the Conference USA Hall of Fame. That he and Kevin Byard, congratulations, both well deserved. Story number two, and that would be Courtney Whitson, who just finished her career as a Blue Raider, has been named to Rick Insel's coaching staff at Middle Tennessee. Her new title is assistant coach and coordinator of basketball operations. And what is that? It includes collaborating directly with Coach Insel to help cultivate a competitive Division I program. The role involves coaching student athletes during practices and games, providing personalized skill training, recruiting both academically accomplished and skilled players, and fostering community engagement, which Courtney is very good at all of that. Key responsibilities encompass managing communication with university officials, coordinating travel logistics, overseeing recruiting efforts, and recruiting or executing community service initiatives and NCAA life skill programs, as well as nurturing athletes' personal growth for their university and community roles. So congratulations, great hire by Coach Rick Insel to have Courtney Whitson come on the staff at Middle Tennessee. Also today, the athletic department announced the addition of 4 individuals to MTSU's external affairs team. Seth Thomas will serve as director of ticket sales within the Tamar Sales University. That is a third-party vendor, and he is basically focusing on outbound ticket sales to help add not only individual but group tickets. He graduated from Mississippi State and is now helping out the already in place ticket sales team, but now coming in helping out with Tamar. And Bryant Powers and Isabella Wolf joined the Blue Raiders as part of the athletic sponsorship program through Van Wagner College. Powers will serve as the director of sales, while Wolf will be an account executive. And Kyle Yerum joins MTSU as the Director of Annual Giving in the Blue Raider Athletic Association. He served as the Assistant Director of Ticket Sales and Service at Tulane for a year before being promoted to Associate Director of Development in 2023. So those names have surfaced, and congratulations to all of those in new positions. Blue Raider Kids Club coming up. Membership benefits include a football season ticket in the Family Fun Zone, exclusive events for Kids Club members at select games, monthly emails, monthly newsletter, birthday card from Lightning, an opportunity to be part of the homecoming parade, complimentary admission to one predetermined football, women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball, and softball home game. And it is new this year. At each ticketed sport, one member will be selected to be the highlighted as the future Raider of the game. You can become a member by contacting the marketing department at 494-8784. That's 615-494-8784. It is a I'm trying to see what the price is here. It's not very expensive, and but Lightning's birthday party, you get invited to that. The Kids Club is a great value if you have youngsters. So all of that is going on as well. So guys, that's kind of what I have here on site with a little update. So with that, I'll use old-fashioned hand signals and say, back to you.
Chip, we appreciate you making the best of a bad situation there. If anybody could pull that off, we knew it would be you. And really, thanks. Hopefully the next time we have you on, it will be under better technological circumstances. But thank you for coming in with us and taking this segment and running with it. And again, look forward to visiting with you next Tuesday and when we can hear each other.
There you go.
When we continue here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, we got another surprise guest coming in. So stay tuned after this break from the Lee Company Studios.
Bluegrass Auction Associates is hosting another estate auction in White House, Tennessee on Saturday, July 20th at 10 a.m. Join Bluegrass as they sell the Judy Matthews Honeycutt Estate, conveniently located in the scenic Orchard Park subdivision. This beautiful estate includes both real estate and personal property, so everything must go. Everything will be sold on-site and in person, and a 10% buyer's premium is added to the final bid. So bid with confidence with Bluegrass Auction Associates, committed to excellence.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Top 5 Tuesday continues here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. This is Wade Neely. We're coming to you from the Lee Company Studios here at the Marshall County Community Theater, and we are now joined by the dapper Brad Willis, executive director of the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, which is an interesting title.
Yes.
These days.
Yes. Sometimes a Hall of Fame can exist without a physical space. And so that's kind of where we are right now. We just missed on having you guys with us right before we closed our space. And I think we had severe weather in the area that day. And it took us every bit of 6 weeks to sunset the space that was at Bridgestone Arena. And for those who are watching or listening who might not know, we've been there since 2000. We're really excited. Our new home is going to be at the new Nissan Stadium. And so we're in the process of trying to kind of plan that out and put that together. But we were up against the expiration of a lease. And so it was one of those things where, we probably needed to sunset a little sooner than we would have liked. But the next 2 years are going to be pretty busy for us in trying to kind of get everything squared and set up for a new home that we hope will last just as long, if not longer, once we're in the new Nissan Stadium. So, yeah, kind of a dark space now, but a lot of it's based right here in Lewisburg where I am. So, we're base of operations for now.
Lewisburg native Brad Willis, that's how we happen to have him with us here on KAVARES Tears Day. And I was going to ask you, I guess since you all are not in a physical space and you don't have to make any space for KAVARES, but
I know, right?
That's pretty special.
Very special.
as a Marshall County.
Very cool. I mean, great for the state. Obviously a national championship. It's something a lot of people are excited about, can get behind. I didn't watch a single Tennessee baseball game this year where I didn't point out to somebody, "Hey, 21, he's from Lewisburg." It's one of those things. I mean, it's a community pride kind of thing. I know you guys had the county mayor Mike Kinney on earlier, and he was talking about it, and he's obviously a huge sports fan, and he understands. I mean, sports at its core, and I've said this for years, especially the young people that come through the Hall of Fame, there's a very uniting factor about sports. It brings people together. And so really excited for KAVARES, really excited they're going to celebrate him today here on the square. He's incredibly deserving. And did I hear that he broke some news with you guys earlier? Or maybe
I guess in the most technical sense, he probably did break some news, but I don't think he's said anything that anybody didn't suspect.
Sure.
Yeah. KAVARES is going into this weekend's draft with the intention of signing and not returning for his redshirt junior year at the University of Tennessee. Like I said, I don't know if that's breaking news per se.
Right.
When you look at the season that he's had, when you look at the comments from his coach prior to the season where he was saying, you better get a good look at this guy in orange this year.
That's right.
So, but I mean, again, he had a fantastic year.
Yeah.
And he's a fantastic kid, and you wish nothing but the best for him.
Future's bright. Future's bright for that guy. He's going to join a long list of people who've come from Lewisburg. I know we were talking about Dante Hightower and Jason Maxwell and Marcus Hayslip and, so many others that, as Mike said, you start naming names, you leave somebody out. Mike Miner, just up the street in Chapel Hill. But yeah, I mean, it's really exciting for him and glad, like I said, glad that they're taking some time to celebrate him. It's always good when you can go home again and be the center of attention when you do something right.
And as we were saying too, Mike, I don't know if you heard it or not, but we were saying it too, Mike. Wade and I were talking about it earlier in the show and off air even. This kind of thing seems particularly endemic to small town USA when you've watched a kid come up
yes
to that point.
Yeah.
And to be able to say, hey, I knew him when.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
You could go out to the ballpark and point out the place where he made a big play. You know, like you saw him from the early stages. I mean, that's the thing about it. That's such a wonderful thing in a town like this, and they do such a great job of embracing, hometown success. And so, yeah, it's at a different level.
Part of the reason they do such a great job of embracing it is because they've had a lot of opportunity to do so.
You're absolutely right. They have. And it's a good thing to have for sure.
Brad, and we didn't even get to really super dive into it, but Mike and I were going down that road, Marshall County versus Giles County, and Giles has had some success, and they kind of hang their hat a little bit on athletics, but man, it really seems, whether you're talking Forest, whether you're talking Cornersville, or obviously Marshall County, it seems like Marshall County really kind of embraces that sports as kind of a selling point for the entire community, which I think is critical for a small town in some regards.
Absolutely. And they've had, great success over the years in different sports. Coach Joe George coached the baseball team for many, many years and saw them to great success. My uncle was the basketball coach of the Tigerettes for a long time. I mean, it's a family affair. I mean, it is. And so, in a town the size of Lewisburg, you get to know people and, you root for them and you want to see them succeed. And so that's why I think, an event like this for somebody like KT is just such a great move.
Coach Joe George was also the defensive coordinator on a lot of those great football teams.
Coach Joe George, who I tried to tackle Damian Maxwell once in practice, and we had those old jerseys with the huge holes. You remember those, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I somehow got him, but didn't get him, and I ripped off half of my fingernail in the process. And I'm standing there, and I'm just kind of like half picking at it. Coach Joe George walks up, and what'd you do? And I said, I ripped off half my fingernail. And he just reaches into his pocket, pulls out a pair of fingernail clippers out on the practice field. He was always prepared. Here you go.
Clip it off and go.
Go.
Yeah.
Always
prepared. Time's a waste, and we got another play coming up here soon.
Such a great coach and such a great human being. It was sad when he passed earlier this year.
It really was. I was out of town at the time and then got back and saw something on somebody's Facebook about it and that kind of thing. And it was a gut punch.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the good ones. How many state championships did he win?
Oh, my goodness.
What, 90, 92, 93, something like that with that Ty Curley bunch?
We lost count. I think, he had the Dusters who were, kind of the summer league team.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, his hands, Coach Reese, both Steve and Mike, were involved. That was such a great group of guys who just loved sports and loved kids and just poured into them. And those are the things that, I think people that played for Coach George look back years later and they remember the life lessons and they remember the human, as much as anything that they learned about on the diamond.
Absolutely. And I was getting ready to say, it kind of funnels back to, that small town USA vibe that we've been talking about. And Brad, we kind of touched on the headquarters is kind of based out of your house
right now.
Right now. And we've had you on before, and you've kind of given us a little bit. Has there been any new news or updates? We got a big event we want to get into in this convo a little bit later. But as far as just that linear progression, where do we sit kind of with the progress toward the new Nissan location?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen, much of the time lapses or things that are going on out there in those what were parking lots A, B, and C, but there's a lot of work going on.
I mean, there's mounds of dirt that are bigger than this room right now.
And there's a lot of, kind of like foundational work being done. And I think that, we're going to blink and all of a sudden there's going to be a structure there. It's crazy how fast these things come up. I think for us, we've got some events coming up this year, which you talked about. Next year, we're going to do, a lot of relationship building, a lot of conceptualization, a lot of planning. We really want this space to tell the story of the state of Tennessee and all the people, who have come through it. And you can start making a list and go on forever. But, you start thinking about people like Pat Summitt, people like, Coach Temple, you start thinking about all the stories that are exclusive to the state of Tennessee. It really is a very robust story to tell. And so we want to make sure that we do that right. So 2025 will be a lot of planning and kind of getting ready. And 2026 will be construction.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that, I talked with some folks from the Titans and I said, is the building going to be done? And then you'll want us to kind of finish up, in the first 6 to 8 months that you're open. They said, no, we want you ready to go when the building's ready to go. So 2026 is let's get in there and build, and let's make it something cool that anybody visiting, both from in-state or out of state, can check out and be entertained by, be proud of, and learn a little bit of something about the people who have paved the way. I mean, sports, like I said, great uniting factor, and there's so many people. You guys are all witness to it. I've been witness to so many great accomplishments, and so it's really a testament to those people and what they've done.
Have there been any ideas or things that you would have liked to have maybe implemented at the old space that have been just sitting there waiting, and now you finally are like, aha, now I got a chance to really maybe get this done in 27?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, and most of that comes down to experiential type things, because we would have field trips and kid groups and things come in all the time, and they'd say, where can we hit a baseball? Where can we shoot a basketball? And, we had 7,200 square feet. It's a pretty small space. But, if we'd have had, more guaranteed time in that space, I think we would have probably invested in some more experiential type things. Now that we have a blank slate, like, why can't you go to the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame and run the 100-meter dash against Wilma Rudolph? Technology is one of those things now that just, we're only really kind of limited by our imagination and what we can tell somebody we want to try to do. And imagine a kid being able to go home to their parents that night and say, I ran the 100-meter dash against Wilma Rudolph, and let me tell you all about her. She's from Clarksville and this and that. And, she won the Olympics. Now you've taught them something just because they've had fun, and so those are the kinds of things that we want to do. And we want to strike the right balance between something you can go and you can touch and feel and see versus something you experience or, is on a screen. And I think, maybe the next, 18 months are a little bit about kind of finding that right balance and what we can do.
We covered the Southeastern Conference Football Media Days a couple of years ago down at Atlanta, and Mercedes-Benz Stadium has a Georgia High School Athletics Association exhibit of helmets of all of their football state champions in there. I mean, I don't know if that would be something that would fall under y'all's auspices, or if that would be something that the TSSAA would have to take up. But it was a really cool
That's awesome
exhibit.
Yeah. And we've had the TSSAA Hall of Fame exhibit as part of our space for probably the last 10 or 15 years. And so any idea is a good idea. I'm probably, when I leave here, I'm going to write that down, because I think some of the best ideas are borrowed. But that one is a great. I saw another good one at the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in Knoxville. That was more of a representation of the state, and then showing where all the different state champions were from across the state. And so, like I said, it's one of those where you take the things that you've seen, that you like, that you think you can do well, and just use it to shine a light on the people who are doing things the right way.
As an executive board member of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association, I'm also told that there will be a kiosk representing its Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and that was something that really was at the doorstep of coming together right about the time we learned that we were going to be leaving our space. And so one of the things that we said was, hey, we can create this, and unfortunately it'll probably go into storage for 2 years, or we can kind of wait. Yeah, we can wait. So that's something that we're excited about. We did have, as part of our interactive kiosks, when you came to the sports hall, there was a section from the Tennessee Sports Writers Association where you could go and you could, at a minimum, see the list of winners from year to year. I think we want that to grow. We want that to be. We want people to be able to read, writing examples and see photos and interviews and all those kinds of things. And so, yeah, that's on our platform for sure.
You guys are getting ready. July 20th, big ceremony taking place. It's kind of a fun event. It really kind of sneaks up on us every year. You mentioned that this year's just flying by. What can you tell us about what should be another exciting year?
Hang on before we do that, because the last time we talked to you, there was still one.
That's right.
One inductee who had not been gotcha'd.
That's right.
I assume that has been remedied.
That was Pecorine. And a biggie, frankly. Pekka, when we're talking about, Nashville Predators and throughout history, I mean, there's only one who's had his number retired. There's only one who's got a statue in front of Bridgestone Arena. And obviously, Vezina Trophy winner and so many accolades from his time. Basically owns, essentially every franchise, netminder record that there is to have. And his maybe a better individual than he is a hockey player. I mean, that's the thing that everybody would tell you is that, Pecorino is just next level when it comes to being a person. And so really excited that he's part of this class. We announced our honorees in that same window. We're honoring the late Thomas Wilson with our significant historical achievement award. And obviously Tom Wilson Park and everything that he did in terms of bringing the Negro Leagues to Nashville and the Elite Giants. And then we've got Jack Elder, who's our Pat Summit Lifetime Achievement Award winner. And Jack was the longtime executive director of Special Olympics of Tennessee. Our Tennessean of the year is the great Bill Dance.
Yeah.
So we're excited.
How has that not happened already, by the way?
I know, right? It's,
how many times do you hear that?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And that's why we encourage people to say, hey, go to our website and look and see who's been honored, who's been inducted. See if there's somebody who you just maybe assume that is already in. I'll give you an example from somebody who's going in this year's Gene Patton Latimer. So Gene Patton Latimer ran in the late 40s, early 50s at Tennessee State before it was even called Tennessee State. And so a lot of people assume, well, Gene Patton Latimer's got to be in, right? Well, she wasn't, and I think it's one of those omissions by assumption. So yeah, anytime people can go to our website tshf.net, they can look at every inductee from across the years, see who's in. And if there's not, then there's a link at the top of the page how you can nominate, and it's as easy as filling out a form and sending it to us. And that's how we remedy some of those.
I know that you have a level of involvement in selecting inductees, but it's probably not great because there's a board that votes on that and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Who are you looking forward to? Who are you aware of right now that is not in the Hall of Fame that
wish list almost?
That's a great question.
I try.
So to answer the first part of that, you're right. I'm more administrative than anything. I do look from time to time if there's somebody who's not in. I saw not too long ago Fly Williams is not in Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, and I was like, that's interesting. Struck up a really good relationship with Austin Peay this year with Coach Luce being inducted. Made sure to mention it. That's how how I can make sure that people are on the radar. Hey, did you know that Fly Williams not in? Oh, really? No. Here's a nomination form. I can't nominate him, but hint, right? Yeah. I mean, there are several All-Americans. When you look at the University of Tennessee, East Tennessee is a bear. I'll tell you, in the sense of we divide our nominations up West, Middle, and East, and you start talking about All-Americans, not just in football, but you got basketball now. Baseball is blazing quite the trail. You got track and field. We had Tiana Madison in last year. I mean, there's gaps. There are folks across the state where you look at it and you go, wow, I really have a hard time believing that they've not been nominated. And that's why we try to make sure. That's why I get out and kind of tell the story. Hey, it's as easy as you see an omission, you make us aware of it, and then we kind of take that to the nominating committee. East Tennessee handles their region, Middle is the same, West is the same, and then once they kind of make their kind of regional collections, we come together and pare those down, and we can put in as many as 12 a year, but that's changing. We're gonna increase that a little bit.
Well, will you all continue to have inductions while you're dark?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The only thing that changes for us from a standpoint of the museum being sunset is we just don't have
the
a
museum
space.
Okay.
We still have a golf tournament coming up in September. Love to have you guys out there if you want.
No, you wouldn't.
You can just talk. I mean, it'll be nice,
we can commit to that part. I don't know if you want to see us out there.
But yeah, we'll do that every year. We'll continue to do our television special, which airs this weekend across the state. We're really excited about that. And we'll have our inductions as normal. So yeah, really nothing changes functionally for us except that there's not a physical space to come and tour. And that's one of those things that, like I said, it's bittersweet because you hate that the doors have closed on it, but at the same time, what's on the horizon. So you're excited about what's to come. You just know that you've got a little bit of a period of darkness there where you're just like, all right, we can't host the tour groups, but we're working on some ideas where maybe we can go to them. Especially with the youth groups and things like that, where we can kind of take the story to them.
I got one for you, Brad. This is Sports Talk Radio, so we got to stir the pot a little bit. In your mind, in your fan mind, if you will, what's one team in the state of Tennessee, professional, college, otherwise, that in the next couple of years before the new Nissan opens that will produce an achievement that would be worthy of induction, aka who in your mind is set up to maybe win a title or to maybe have a historic run?
That's a great question. I heard Mayor Kenny earlier, and obviously huge Tennessee fan. I think that something he said, I tend to believe. I think that Tennessee winning the national championship in baseball is really the tip of the iceberg for what that whole, organization. I'm not finding the right word, but the
athletic department
is trending towards. I think that they are trending towards major championships in really all their sports. When you see what softball has done, when you see what Rick Barnes continues to do with basketball, when you see what Coach Heupel has done with football, Tennessee has become a force to be reckoned with. When I look at professional athletics, the Predators have made some moves. I mean, that's a team that's gone from being, kind of defensive minded and let's play physical hockey and have a good, goaltender to, hey, let's go get some goal scorers and let's do some things, right? That they're going to be fun to watch. I'm excited about the Titans. I know a lot of people will say it's probably too soon, and maybe it's a year too soon to get excited about the Titans, but I like the moves that they made.
In that division, I'm not sure it is.
That's the point. Yeah, exactly. In that divivision, who knows, right?
I mean, it's Houston, but
Houston is Jacksonville from 2 years ago, right? I mean, the team that all of a sudden makes the playoffs and maybe thinks they're world beaters, and then you realize, they're probably a 9-8 team. That's what you kind of wonder about Houston. But I really like the fact, and like we're talking about the Predators, you got a team that was smash mouth, run the football, physical,
metamorphosis.
Now you've got this team that we expect will see, a kind of a high flying offense, and you've got wide receivers and a quarterback with a cannon for an arm. And can the pieces all fall together for them? I mean, they seem to have shored up the left side of the offensive line.
Thank God.
Right? I mean, that was just a turnstile last year.
Yeah.
And so this year you kind of hope, okay, you've got the quarterback's blind side protected with big investments. You've got 2 first-round picks and a big free agency pickup with Cushenberry at center. So can you find 2 guys who are kind of in your system who can shore up the right? Well, if that happens, you've got weapons. You have weapons to score, and the NFL now is about scoring.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see, how that all comes about. The story changes in the state of Tennessee every day, and that's one of the things that we talked about with the old museum, and obviously one of the things that we're talking about with the new space. Every day that story gets bigger. Those list of people just continue to grow. So we want to make sure that when we do design the new space and we get it in a place where when we open in 2027, that by 2029 it's not outdated. We want to be able to kind of add on and tell that story as it grows, because it's growing every day.
Brad Willis, Executive Director of the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, as we get ready for the official KAVARES Tears Day ceremony at 4:30 on the courthouse steps here in Lewisburg. Lewisburg native Brad Willis joining us. Brad, we appreciate you dropping through. The next time you're on our show, lose the sports jacket because you're making us look bad, man. It's July 9th out here. It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot. But you look good.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to gear up. I feel like I've been wearing board shorts and flip-flops for the last little bit because I've been working from home, and I've got a banquet in a week, and so I feel like I gotta
get in the mode.
I gotta get in the mode. It's like you got when you're running a marathon, you got to carb up. So I'm gonna jack it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we're really excited. Next Saturday, Yeah, it's going to be here, and we're going to have a great night at the Omni. And
it won't be a sports jacket next Saturday. Huh?
No, it'll be a suit. see, we're growing.
There we go.
It's like kind
transitioning
into what we'll need. So.
There we go. Hey, man, we appreciate you.
Hey, great to see you guys.
Thanks, absolutely. When we come back, we've got a lot to jam into a short period of time, so stay tuned and see how it goes.
Welcome to Protein Snack Shop, your destination for healthy and delicious low-carb snacks. Our specialty lies in providing protein-packed desserts that are perfect for those following a keto diet. Our products are made with high-quality ingredients, ensuring that you can satisfy your cravings without compromising your health goals. From a variety of flavors and options to choose from, you can enjoy guilt-free snacking while staying on track with your fitness journey. Don't miss out on our limited time offer. Discover Protein Snack Shop today.
Bluegrass Auction Associates is hosting another estate auction in White House, Tennessee on Saturday, July 20th at 10 a.m. Join Bluegrass as they sell the Judy Matthews Honeycutt Estate, conveniently located in the scenic Orchard Park subdivision. This beautiful estate includes both real estate and personal property, so everything must go. Everything will be sold on-site and in person, and a 10% buyer's premium is added to the final bid. So bid with confidence with Bluegrass Auction Associates, committed to excellence.
Another wrong date here. July 9th, 1986, I believe it was. Atlanta won 7-3 at Philadelphia without Dale Murphy, who sat out the victory. His absence ended a streak of 740 consecutive games for the Iron Man, who had played in every game since September of 1981. That was, I think, this day in Braves history. Man, we've been doing a lot on the fly here of late, and so
we're showing off our flexibility, right?
Well, yeah, but Braves with a big win. We talked about it at the onset of the show. Down 3-1 late out at Arizona last night, rallied back for a 5-4 11-inning victory in that one. And as Brandon Gaudin and CJ Nitkowski were pointing out, it was a big win out at Arizona last year that kind of got the Braves off on a run. So can lightning strike twice? We'll see.
Yeah. Didn't watch any of this game, but I was kind of keeping a little tabs on the scoreboard last night, and I was like, man, they're still playing? And before the scoreboard finally loaded, I said, this has got to be going deep. And, yeah, you're right, 11 innings.
I will tell you that when Eddie Rosario came up with 2 outs in the top of the 9th and nobody on, I was literally telling Jody, I'm about to go to bed when this gets over with. Well, and I did go to bed when it got over with, but it didn't get over with then because Rosario reaches on a 2-strike single.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Murphy goes oppo for a 2-run, 2-strike homer to tie the game. Braves go up in the top of the 10th. Arizona ties it in the bottom. Braves go up again in the top of the 11th, and this time hang on to win it. So, again, some resiliency, some late offense that we were talking about earlier this year that had kind of gone away. But against the defending National League champion Diamondbacks, I don't know how big that win was, but it felt big.
Anytime you win in extra innings, it does seem like it carries a little juice, and that's the team that could use all the juice it can get. They've been improving, but you're not going to turn down any free momentum, certainly. So that's a good win. Like you said, versus a quality team too on the road.
Been improving, but certainly need to continue to try to tread water as they try to keep Philadelphia in range after taking 2 of 3 from Philadelphia in Atlanta over the weekend. Now, How much does the NL East mean when you consider Atlanta's most recent history?
I mean, as long as you get a ticket to the dance in baseball, especially what we've seen the last couple of years, I feel that's all you need, right? Yeah. I mean, you can make a run. It'd be nice to have that division feather in your cap. It'd be nice to kind of get either some rest maybe down the stretch if that's your goal, or
if that's your goal, because I'm not sure it is at this point.
I mean, probably not the way we've seen some of these postseasons play out the last couple of years.
Right. It was July 9th, 1986, that Dale Murphy sat down, by the way, breaking a 740 game streak. So just for what that's worth. Wade, your guys open a series against visiting Miami tonight. And at 1-9 with a 4.91 ERA, Trevor Rogers looks prime for the taking, especially against possibly a slightly irritated Ronel Blanco. 8-3 with a 2.53 and not going to Arlington next week.
Yeah, Blanco, man. I mean, like we said yesterday, it feels like he's the guy that kind of got a little shortchanged in this situation. Been pitching well. Obviously, had the no-hitter early. Everybody's like, who is this guy? And you're thinking, maybe it's just one of those flash in the pan no-hitters from just an obscure guy that we never really hear from again. And honestly, that's kind of what I was anticipating. And then he almost goes out and throws another one. And he's had a great start to this season. And so it does feel a little unfortunate. He does feel like a little bit of a snub, because he is kind of a relative unknown. There's not going to be as much fanfare, I don't think, about him being left off, which is kind of unfortunate. But you'd like this pitching matchup, if nothing else, tonight in Houston's favor, which means the game will end 10-9, and we'll just see who wins at that point.
Well, you guys have been pretty good in 10-9, 13-12, 14-11 ball games here of late.
Would prefer not for that to be the case, but yeah, they have enjoyed a few wins here and there in those regards. So it'll be a fun little showdown tonight. The kind of precursor to the Braves and D-backs much later in the evening.
Much later, yeah. In the history of baseball, well, since the All-Star Game's inception in 1933, there have been two guys who have stolen 45 or more bases, hit 15 or more home runs, and hit 15 or more doubles before the All-Star break. One is Ricky Henderson in 1986. The other is Ellie De La Cruz.
That's pretty dang good company to be in.
That's not bad company to be in. If you are going to be in a club of two in Major League Baseball and one of them is Ricky Henderson, you feel pretty good. This guy's going to the All-Star game next week, barely a year after coming up from Louisville. And I'm telling you, I said it yesterday, and if his name comes up again on this show before the end of the week, I'll say it again. I'm looking forward to watching him.
Oh, yeah. And he's a guy kind of like we've talked about with Skeens with the Rookie of the Year. He came on last year and made a bigger push than I think a lot of folks would have thought about as far as maybe winning that thing. So
going for the cycle against the Braves didn't hurt.
I mean, and if Corbin Carroll hadn't had such a great overall season, you might have really seen that push. But, he is going to be electric. The format of the game, obviously, depending on when he gets in, kind of lends itself to some not going to say antics, but, things that you might not see. So he might really try and put on a show.
In a short period of time. Make an impact.
I'm here not for a long time, but for a good time type situation. Yeah, so he will be dynamic and electric to watch next week. There ain't no doubt.
Looking forward to it. Again, he is one of three shortstops on the roster because C.J. Abrams is also on that team. And Trey Turner's starting?
I think that is correct. We had the list pulled. I remember Abrams we discussed a good bit yesterday. So, like you said, that position is loaded, especially in the NL.
It really is. CBS Sports reporting Schwarber and Harper both back for Philly.
There was I saw a report today that, they were, quote, 50-50 on whether they would play or not. So I was kind of thinking that they'd be out, especially Harper. I thought he might be out slightly beyond even the All-Star break, but looks like he's getting ready to maybe gear up tonight.
Yeah. Another home run derby participant has come out. Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians will take part in that event next Monday out in Arlington. I think that brings the list of known participants to 6. I don't know why they don't just announce them, but apparently
Might be trying to hold out for somebody, maybe, or sweet talk one last person to get in there.
I don't know.
This dude can smash, though.
Yeah, without question, he can. I don't have his stats right in front of me. Wait a minute. Maybe I do. 23 home runs. He's hitting 269. 76 ribs for Jose Ramirez. Largely regarded as probably one of the best third basemen in the game right now. So he joins Marcell Ozuna, who was announced yesterday, I guess it was. And I'm blanking on the other 4.
Well, we know Alonso's in there.
Alonso
I meant to point that out yesterday. Alonso dude lives for that event, so he's sharpening his knives right now. He said, "I may not do much else, but I'm gonna win me a home run derby, or at least go out swinging." Right?
Absolutely. Alonso is in it. Gunnar Henderson from Baltimore is in it, the rookie, and a couple of other guys. And again, their names escape me at this time. You got it?
Witt Jr.
Yeah.
And
Bohm.
Yep. So they got
6 of the 8 are official. So we're still waiting on another 2, and I guess they're going to announce them over the next couple of days.
Yeah, they're leaking them like Brad Willis was leaking the Hall of Fame inductees. Just one at a time. Type of situation.
Kind of building up the suspense there. Yeah. You got any grab bag items, or should we slide into Top 5 Tuesday right now?
Well, I wasn't going to ask Brad this directly on camera, but, the Zach Edey Rookie of the Year statue at a minimum will be built. I just don't know if he's going to be in the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame just yet, because last night he had a great game. Big double-double, already becoming a Memphis legend, sticking up for his teammates. There's one guy you don't want to run. There was a guard for the Jazz that ran up on him, and he kind of walked away like a dog, like, maybe I shouldn't have ran up on this big dog. This guy's 3 times my size. So he had a big game. Grizz lose in overtime by 2 in the Summer League, for whatever that's worth. But it was fun to see him out on the court. Got to see G.G. Jackson, who's a young up-and-coming member. So good little effort last night, even though a losing effort for Memphis. But, meant to ask Brad about that. When can his induction take place? Because he looked okay for his debut last night.
And on top of Zach Edey, apparently Ja has been cleared.
Hallelujah.
There we go.
Injury-wise, you mean? I think he's been cleared.
I think he's been cleared of everything else. Yes, medically speaking, Ja Morant has been cleared.
The court case was cleared a couple weeks ago. He's medically cleared. Hey, everything is on the come up for Ja and for the Grizzlies, it looks like right now.
Grizzly star medically cleared for all basketball activities after shoulder surgery.
That is good to hear.
So it's go time, he tweeted.
Yeah, he's been a little more active on social too. I'm like, okay, this is the guy. If you can steer clear of the bad stuff on social, when he's tweeting, it means he's engaged and it means he's ready. So I'm excited to hear that.
Tweeting,
yes,
not IGN,
and as long as he stays away from that, we might be in good shape.
Yeah, that's what you want to see if you're a Grizzlies fan. Let's go ahead and head into our final quote segment of the day. Top 5 Tuesday, brought to you by Mid-South 5 Fitness. 2 great locations, one in Franklin, one in Columbia. Whatever shape it is that you are in, Dallas Steel will get you in a better one. Find him at Steel Athletes. That's STEEL athletes.com. In deference to our location here in Lewisburg, as we get ready to recognize KAVARES Tiers on KAVARES Tiers Day, Wade and I will try not to embarrass ourselves too greatly as we try to give you Lewisburg's top 5 athletes in our humble opinions. You haven't grown up in Pulaski. I grew up in Franklin. I've had some dealings with some folks down this way. So let's see what we can come up with. I'm I will let you go first.
Start us off. Give me Marcus Hayslip right off the jump, only because as a kid, I heard he could grab quarters off the top of the backboard. That's how high he could jump, and I don't know if that was true. It probably could have been.
But it sounded good, right?
And he ended up being, obviously, a great long NBA career. So Marcus Hayslip's got to be my number one, if not for nothing else, the nostalgia factor about hearing about him so much.
My number one could have played Division I in any of the three major sports. They've got a street name for him in this town. I mean, I don't know that he ever had a day, but they do have a street name for him. Innsworth coach Jason Maxwell. I was working at the paper in Franklin, and BGA and Page were in the same district with Marshall County in the late 80s, early 90s. And that dude was a terror. Don't be fooled by his mild manners these days. He was a dude. He was an absolute dude. Yeah, Jason Maxwell.
Heard nothing but outstanding stuff and stories, kind of like Hayslip about him growing up. Good pull there. Number two, let's go for me. I mean, Dante Hightower, how could you not? Thorne in Giles County's side on the gridiron. Him and GCHS running back Sam Edgman had some real duels over the years. But Dante, man, successful at Marshall County, successful at Alabama, successful in the NFL. Super Bowl champion Dante Hightower has done Lewisburg proud.
I'm going to go way back for number two, back to my baseball card collecting days when I was a youngster. There was a guy who pitched for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the back of his baseball card said Caney Springs, Tennessee.
Oh, my.
Claude Osteen.
Oh,
that's my number two. Like I said, I'd go to the corner drugstore or whatever in Franklin, pick up my pack of baseball cards and see who I got. And it's like, Claude Osteen. Okay, flip it over, looking at the numbers. Caney Springs, Tennessee.
Represent.
Absolutely. Caney Springs, stand up.
Yeah, where you at, Caney Springs? I love the pull there.
Yeah.
Number three for me, a couple are still out there. I'm going to put on my MTSU homer hat. I got to watch him play, but Kyle Young was like a 7-foot center for Marshall County, and he dominated Giles County, and then he balled out in the Murphy Center for a number of years. And I'm not sure what he's up to. He had a brother that also played at MTSU and was very good, but Kyle Young was a phenom of a basketball player. I think he was even nominated for Mr. Basketball back in the day. So Kyle Young, my number three.
My number three, I'm going back to Marshall County High School baseball. We talked about Coach George and some of those state championship teams that he had back in the early 90s. And also an MTSU guy, Ty Curley, third baseman pitcher. He wasn't a Jason Maxwell, but he was pretty dang good, especially at the high school level. So I'm going with Ty.
Pop him in there. Up for me, I don't want to catch any heat from the Forest or Cornersville contingent. So these are worthy picks, but they're homer picks. But I got a number 4 with Mike Miner, and talk about a phenom. I'm sure you got to see him probably more than I did in high school. But I kid you not, one time I came back and I found his game on the local radio. I forgot where I was even driving back from, and it sounded like it was at an MLB game, and it was Forest playing just some random school. Might have been playing Richland even.
Mm-hmm. I did not see Mike in high school. I did see him at Vanderbilt.
He was just as good there.
Yeah, right before he was the number 7 pick in the Major League Draft. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, you went north, so I must go south. Ben Franklin, Cornersville. Pretty good basketball player, dang good football player, and looking forward to seeing what he winds up doing at the Naval Academy, whether they put him at defensive end or at linebacker or fullback or what happens with him. But that kid's got a bright future, and at the Class A level, he's a man among boys.
That was going to be my next pick. I don't know if that was any big surprise to represent. Yeah, exactly. Man, that stumped me a little bit there. I'm going to have to go into the Cornersville bag of tricks here. And there's a person that's popular on the internet that's from Cornersville right now. I don't know that she fits that list right now. But we will.
I
defer-
knew she was from Tennessee.
We
I
will
didn't-
defer from that, but
Yes.
Let me go with my guy though. I did announce a lot of his games, and we're friends still to this day. I got to go with with Hayden McMahon, who coaches still at Cornersville.
Mm-hmm.
If for nothing else, I broadcast. It feels like a million of his games when they would play either Giles County or Richland back in the day. So Coach Mack is my last pick.
It's interesting that you go with a coach because my last pick is going to be a coach as well, and it's a very sentimental pick. Former Marshall County standout Dottie Kelso, who went into the coaching ranks, and she was an assistant coach at the University of Alabama when she had some health issues and died